Hi, my name is Timmy Cassis.
My name is CJ Buchanan, and today we're going to be talking about the Cloisters and St. John's the Divine.
The Cloisters were introduced to Upper Manhattan in 1938 by a guy named Charles Collins. The style of architecture used was a medieval, Middle-Age type of architecture.
St. John's the Divine started building in 1892 and is still unfinished today. The architects that started the project were Hines and Lafarge. It's located in midtown of the city, and the styles used were a Gothic style with a little bit of Roman as well.
There are many similarities and differences between St. John's the Divine and the Cloisters. One of the main differences that really points out to me is the idea and the purpose of each building. Now, the Cloisters was built in this forest area for like a seclusion kind of feel to it. So it wasn't really an ideal place for the public to go to. So with that, the Cloisters was a main purpose for monks and nuns to come and live. Not really an outside public place for the people to come in. However, St. John the Divine was this large area, large mass of a building which invited the public in to learn about the Christian ways.
To along what Tim said about the differences of each purpose of the building, there were differences in the space to enclosure and the space to continuum. The Cloisters is a very enclosed structure because of its purpose for the monks and the nuns, and not open to the public. Even in the courtyard, you still feel like you're in an enclosed space just because of the use of narrow hallways and entrances. And that goes along to the rest of the building. As you work through each room, you feel the sense of enclosure just because of the way the windows is used and the details of narrow entrances and the entrance and exit for each room. St. John's the Divine is a very open floor plan. To the matter of fact, when you walk in, you can see the entire floor. When you're in St. John's, you feel like you're in one big room the entire way, no matter where you are in the building. Whether you're in the main chapel part or in a room off to the side, you feel as if you're in an open space for the fact that of the half walls that are used and the gates that allow you to see through. So the two videos shown show the differences in the enclosure and the openness. The Cloisters has the very narrow hallways and opens up to the courtyard, and even in the courtyard, because of the angled roof, you still have the feeling of enclosure. While in St. John's the Divine, it has a very open floor plan to where you can walk for several feet and be in the open space the entire time and have the feeling of openness around you walking throughout the whole building.
A major similarity between both the St. John's the Divine and the Cloisters was the use of arches and columns. Now, the arches and columns were used to depict doors, windows, and structure. And because of this, the architects knew that they needed to put extreme detail into each of these things. So depicting elements of the Catholic Church on these arches and these Corinthian-style columns was an extreme priority to these architects.
To wrap it all up, the purpose of each building allowed for a very intricate way of how each building was built. The Cloisters was built for space to enclosure that enclosed the building, while the St. John's the Divine allowed for space to movement, which allowed it for a very open feel.
And the similarities of each of these buildings was the intricate details and ideas that they placed throughout the building with the columns and the arches, depicting images of the Catholic Church and Catholic ideas on each of these was a priority to each of these architects in these Catholic churches.
So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned a lot about the churches. And yeah, cool.